All right, Mia, let's break this down. He is.
What is there to break down?
Well, here's the thing. He is allegedly, according to some people, on his way over to the New York Football Jets.
Trey Wingo
saying it's a done deal. We know that these talks have been happening. Both sides have confirmed as such. Green Bay management essentially saying, well, thanks for a great run here. And the Jets, Woody Johnson and company, met with Rodgers in person. He said that he would not draw this out, that there would be a deadline. He'd get this thing done. And yet, as the NFL free agency gets started here, Mia, Aaron Rodgers is holding everything up for the Jets. So, how on brand is this number one, and how does this thing shake out?
Very on brand. I enjoy.
You could say he's leaving the Jets in the dark.
Well played. Well, I hope that's the title of today's
You could
episode,
say that
there's not already
silence all around.
Yeah, it's silence of the
lambs. You could say that he's dipping one foot in the New York media market. I got plenty of that. He's lucky I'm not covering this, man. That's all I can say.
I enjoyed all the Jets reporters that were tweeting, well, he's in California. That's 3 hours behind. That's why we haven't heard anything yet. As if California is this far off third world country, which, if you were really going into the darkness, maybe you would have gone there for some sort of, epiphany, as opposed to the mountains of Oregon. I also have felt for my good friends in the Green Bay media market, because I have been there. I know the feeling of you don't want to nap. You're afraid to look away from your phone. You're literally being held hostage by the news cycle. I get it. It's awful. But this is Aaron Rodgers. This is what he does. And in my estimation, John, and in talking to other people around the league, that is where Mark Murphy and the Green Bay Packers ownership group ultimately sits. I think that they are done. They're over the drama. They have Jordan Love. They spent the 26th overall pick on him. Why not roll the dice and see what happens? Because at the end of the day, Aaron Rodgers is going to be 40 this year.
I mean, I think this is much less the thing about the Packers as it is the Jets. I mean,
agree.
The ramifications of all of this here.
Yes.
More Aaron Rodgers makes the Jets wait. Let's say he does go to the Jets. Your teammates, your new teammates, who don't exactly come from a culture of winning, by the way, they now have to embrace you and be okay with the fact that you held the franchise at gunpoint.
Yes.
And on top of that, let's say he doesn't go to the Jets.
And he goes back to the Packers.
Or wherever he goes, wherever it may be. Well, now the Jets just saw Derek Carr go to the Saints. They saw Jimmy G go to the Raiders, which we'll get to in just a couple minutes here. The options are significantly limited. Now,
Mike White went to Miami,
too, right,
John.
exactly.
You're forgetting the most important name in the stable,
So
is that Mike White, their savior, is gone.
It's amazing to me, Mia, that these guys who perpetually show us who they are at their core, we know that Aaron Rodgers is one of the strangest men to ever put on a football helmet. Hall of Fame quarterback, no questions. MVP, no question. But he's one of the strangest men ever in this league. And all these teams keep bending on their knees to bow down to this man and say, you tell us what you want, pal. And that's what this is, the New York City media market, Mia. This guy's going to come in there and every single day he's going to be under the microscope. And do you think this guy's really ready to handle that?
Outside of the weird drug use, how different is this than the last Green Bay quarterback who thought he wanted to go play in front of the New York media?
Yeah.
That's my response.
Didn't work out well at all.
He retreated to the safety of the Midwest within a year. So, and we're talking about Brett Favre, in case you missed it. No, I don't think Aaron Rodgers is prepared for the New York media. I don't think anybody is. I think this is such a gamble by the Jets. Because if he does change his mind, I mean, I saw some people throwing out there, like, what if the trade does get processed and then Aaron Rodgers shows up for OTAs and he goes, I don't like these kids. I'm retiring.
Right.
Then what do you do?
I mean,
you're back to square one with Zach Wilson, who you already, less than 2 years after you drafted him, have already said, yeah, we're done. We're moving on.
Look, where things stand right now, Trey Wingo, who not traditionally known as an NFL reporter per se, but this past offseason.
He's not at ESPN. I think he's trying to find his own niche.
He said it's a done deal. Ian Rappaport from NFL Network saying not yet. So maybe it's possible that it's actually Arson Rodgers that went to the New York Jets as Arson Judge went to the San Francisco Giants.
Never forget.
But I'm just
Something
saying
about those Northern California men, John.
It's just, this is not a given, but if it happens, look, could he be the guy for them? He could be the guy. We've said it on the show.
We've said that they're a quarterback away.
They have talent. Yeah, no questions asked. They got talent. But I worry about the ramifications of diddling things around, what that can do and say about you as a leader.
Yes. Well, but it's the excuse is, well, he's Aaron Rodgers. He can do what he wants.
And maybe that's accurate. Maybe that's right.
Well, here's my thing. If you were upset with your rapport with your young wide receivers, then why didn't you show up in OTAs, at least to be in a coaching role, if you may, or just even an advisory role? You don't have to actually work out. Tell them, I don't want to actually work out, but at least I want to meet with the kids. I want to throw with them on the side. I don't know. Maybe go to Cabo with them. I don't know where to. Trevor took the Jaguars wide receivers to Bermuda, I think. Zach Wilson took last year's Jets receivers to like the mountains of Montana. Like, go do something.
New York football players going on trips doesn't typically end up.
That's also true.
Panning out very well for people. So
you're not wrong. What do you make of all the Sauce Gardner stuff too? Is he too online? Like, I like him a lot, but I think he's a little too online.
Yeah, that's where we're at, man. We're talking Gen Z and Twitter, like, and Insta, and like
and Micah Parsons was pretty online today.
That's our new reality, and we'll talk about athletes and ages a little bit on this show because that's a conversation for something itself. But yeah, I mean, any closing thoughts here on the Rodgers stuff? We're going to monitor it throughout the show. There's a chance by the end of the show, Aaron Rodgers may be a New York Jet, or he may not be a New York.
That would be fun. I would rather it be at the end of this show than having to wait another 5 days, or I don't know, maybe another 5 weeks, because for all we know, that could happen.
Well, and like, let's say he holds them up and then he doesn't go. What's the Jets' option at that point? There's one option.
Brissett.
Well, there's one option that they could go with that they have in their back pocket, and that is with Lamar Jackson getting the franchise tag where they can still make an offer on him. I feel like there's a little more of a safety net knowing that he's there and nobody else is likely to make an offer. But still.
Oh, it's a risk. There's no question about it. It's perhaps the biggest gamble we've seen outside of the Denver Broncos a year ago, hoping and praying Rodgers would pick them as the belle of the ball. They lucked out and that they somehow swung a trade for Russell Wilson, but oh wait, he did not pan out.
Did they luck out?
Maybe not. Maybe not so much. And by the way, Shelby Harris, who they dealt to Seattle, released today and part of the Russell Wilson deal. Worked out real well for them.
Not what you want.
If you want to see all our videos about real news stories that are funny, stupid, or weird, click the subscribe button below. Otherwise, we'll start posting spoilers about your favorite new movies.